everyone, welcome to today's video, and by the way, happy new month to every one of us. Welcome to the month of April, and I wish you a great month ahead. Yes, so this month we will be talking about something similar to last month, which is still love. So I promised the love series, so I just want us to have it for some times. So here is one of the series, the continuation of it. And last month, if you remember, we talked about what is love, and while I was just having to listen to the video again, then something to continue with popped up in my mind, which I mentioned a little bit of it, which was related to love is blind. So let's get right into it. What do we mean when we say love is blind? I actually wrote a dictionary meaning for it, and I'll be reading it from my notes. Pardon me. It means, according to the dictionary, loving someone deeply that you are unable to see their faults, imperfections, and flaws. And I will also include red flags, yes. Or you can also say loving someone so much that all you see is the goodness of the person you are in love with. Yes. And I made mention in the last month's video that love is blind and marriage will open it up for you. That saying is actually right. So I decided to define or talk about that so that there will not be any form of misconception, because I now had to do my research on, okay, what does it mean to say love is blind, and then I will wrap it up with the perspective at which I was talking about it from. Yes, so now that we've defined what it means to say love is blind, okay, now this, according from the definition, we see that this is having to say yes to someone despite the imperfections you see, despite the red flags you see, and which I will actually say no to. Yes, it's very important that while you are courting the person you would like to spend the rest of your life with, you look out for red flags and maybe their imperfections, even though you might not be able to know it all, but it's actually important to note them so that you would be able to say, oh, is this what I can deal with or not? And some examples that I would just like to give is just like, okay, for instance, red flags like maybe you notice the person lies, is not honest, for instance. Yeah, it is it is a red flag. That's, for me, if I were to be the person, I cannot go ahead with marrying someone that is not honest, right? So what other flaws or red flags would you see in someone and would want you to actually have a rethink? And one of them is someone that cheats, for instance. Yeah, so a cheating partner is one thing many women will not want to reckon with. So maybe you, in one way or the other, caught him. It might not really be him having any intimacy with the other person, but maybe him just tending to show more affection or more care to another woman. That doesn't mean it's only men that cheat, right? Women also cheat. So okay, maybe I should turn it the other way around. So for instance, maybe the woman finds out that the man rather finds out that our partner at the time, which is before marriage, yeah, is actually showing more affection to another person. That is actually a major red flag I think you shouldn't consider to going into marriage with. Another one is, I'll just mention the third one, which is maybe someone that gets angry easily, is actually also a major red flag that you should actually think carefully before you go ahead with marrying such person. Because for instance, if you experience where the person had an outburst out of anger, maybe there was an argument between you guys, and then it just couldn't contain a lot of things, that is not someone you should go or settle down with, because in marriage you will tend to see even more, and some people have anger issues, and if you notice that in someone, I don't think that is what you should just shy away with and say, oh, I love him, he's okay, and I'm ready to go to go along with him in marriage. Because for me, it's better if the things you notice in someone you want to settle down with is something you can still relate with. And what do I mean by that? Let me give examples as well, because yeah, if everyone is not perfect, right? So for instance, maybe someone that snores maybe I get to know, okay, this person snores. For me, is what I can deal with, even though some people hate snoring. Yeah, so people might not even say they want to go ahead with someone like that snores, but for me, it's still on a lighter note. I can still cope, because there are mechanisms you can actually employ to adjust snoring and all of that. Yeah, so another thing is maybe the person farts. That's funny, right? Yes, I know. But it shouldn't be something that is major for me. Yeah, let me just keep saying me, because I might meet another person that says, oh, I cannot cope with someone that fats. Yeah, that's how different we can be, and we are all unique in different ways rather. Yeah, so another example might be maybe someone that doesn't like to do house chores. That's the third example. Yeah, so for me, using myself as an example as well, know yourself. What can you bear, so if it doesn't really like to do chores, for me I can still blend with that kind of person, because it takes two to tango. Yeah, so maybe, for instance, if I get to marry someone like that, I might just have to put him or her or him through. I'm using myself as an example here. Put him through maybe with some little things where he can help, and if he's willing, yeah, why not? And another thing that will even make such a person to adjust is when you start having children, because when the person sees that you don't really have the strength to do too much, or for especially maybe you just had the baby, you will just be compelled to do it, and that is him helping out here. But I think it's also good to communicate with your partner when it comes to chores, wherein he can help. The women, we tend to do more chores than men, yeah. So, but it's not a bad idea to consider talking to your spouse. Okay, I wouldn't mind if you can help me with this particular chores. It's not. These are things people talk about. Even in courtship, it's very good if you can just ask such questions like, okay, what do you think about doing chores, house chores, domestic chores? Are you someone that would do the chores, or you are someone that don't know, I don't do chores? But a responsible man, that is talking from the perspective of a woman, will always help you when it comes to chores, because it takes two to tango. We are both living in the house now, so we should be responsible for making the house look good, isn't it? Yes. So I think this will just be all for today. So my own perspective of saying love is blind and marriage will open it for you, because in marriage, for instance, you would tend to see, just like the last three examples I mentioned, you might tend to detect that, oh, my partner snores and I didn't know when I was cutting. It should be something subtle, but there are also mechanisms, like I said, that can help out to do that. That is what these are some of the examples I say that love is blind, marriage will open it for you. And also in marriage, you tend to see, when you're married, you're living together with the person, isn't it? So you tend to actually see the person's imperfections more. So, but even if you notice is a major one that you're like, oh, you actually didn't really detect, because just like I said earlier, there is no way you can know every, like someone you're dating or courting, there's no way you can know his or her all imperfections. Is not possible, no matter how long you're caught. It is when you're married you're going to see some things. So please do well to communicate more while you are courting, if you're in courtship, about a lot of things, and get to have time where you guys meet together, you talk, because when you spend time together compared to just talking on phone, I mean, there's difference within that. But when you see each other, you tend to see some things. Okay, maybe for instance, you opened this door for me while I was going out, and you're like, oh, that's cool, that's this person cares about me, even though some people can fake it. But that is me just being a general that gentlemen like that, I'll just open door for their wife and all of that here. So just know what works for you, and if you notice some of the imperfections that you're like is a major one, please don't just sweep it under the carpet. Communicate, and if you see that you are going to need help of a third party, maybe a counselor, please do. And encourage your partners to read books. Yes, I think it's also help you a lot, because some people just don't know how to manage some of their imperfections. Yeah, but there is always a way to manage it. There are books that talks about that, by managing your imperfections as a human, especially in marriage. There are a lot of books like that. So read books, encourage the person to read books, and at the same time be open to correction. Be someone that is open to learn. Yes, don't say, oh, you know it all, or back home my mom, my dad. No, this is you and your wife, so it's better you make it work. Yeah, I think this will be the end of the video for today. I will see you ending of this month. By God's grace, I promise you I won't miss it this month. Yeah, I promise. Thank you very much for your time, and do enjoy your wonderful April. I love you. If you haven't subscribed though, do well to hit the subscribe button, like the video, and drop your comments on maybe some things you feel like it's a yes for you, and some other imperfections you feel like it's a no for you. Thank you for your time. Have a nice day. Bye.